What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And today we will be doing the Banana Cup, the second cup for the retro courses. And this time we will be playing as Shy Guy. And this is another one of the characters you can choose between multiple colors from. But we're just gonna pick Albino Shy Guy. And here's the new cart that I unlocked last time, one of the Mercedes carts. I'm gonna go all out on Mercedes here. Alright, I think that looks good. Let's start the Banana Cup. Kind of screwed up on the word banana there. The first one is Dry Dry Desert from Double Dash, which this course isn't really too bad considering it's a desert, but I remember in the original it wasn't really it really wasn't my favorite, but they definitely washed out the color a lot. I guess to make it more aesthetically pleasing. And I remember this sinkhole here. They made it a lot more forgiving, in that you can just drive right through it. But in the original, it was pretty hard to get out if you went in there. In this other underwater section they added, and you can do tricks off of those little geysers there. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the pokies here. Yeah, by all means, you can you can try grabbing the coins if you want, but that's a little risky. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention, you can, if you press the X button on the Switch controller, then you can look behind yourself. That's something they added in I think Mario Kart Wii first. Which, you know, if you're capable of doing that, like multitasking, then you can do that. Yeah, see, you just you drive right on through that, no problem. We're almost done. There we go. Made it. Again, might not be my favorite course in the Retro Cups, but it's still a decent track to play in. Doughnut Plains 3 from the Super Nintendo. Didn't really play much of that game either. I remember I played some of it, I think a few years back. But yeah, it's not really one of my favorites because of the control and all. I'm gonna wait for you to get rid of that banana. Oh, you... It just so happens you have a shell as well. You just stay out of your way. Yeah, but in this version, they make it a lot more bearable, or more playable. Because I swear, like, from what I remember, the controls in the original weren't really good. But then again, it was their first attempt on making a Mario Kart game in like a 2D like space that way. Yeah, and if you somehow go off-road like that, it's helpful that you do like a short hop like that by pressing the drift button. Alright. Let's hope they don't have another red shell. Because that always annoys me when they get double red shells. Again, it might be my memory screwing up, but I remember 150cc being a lot harder. Maybe that's because I didn't really have the right build for the card at the time. I mean, if it, if it looks good, then okay. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you have fun. Royal Waste for it. Royal Waste. Can't talk today. Royal Raceway from the N64. This is a good track. Both the game and the music. I like the advertisements that they put on the signs there. I remember in the original it's very possible to drive off the side there and go to Peach's castle, but in this version they just put like a gate in front of it, so it's impossible to get there. But I remember in the original it was possible to do that. Again, if you don't really have good enough acceleration, then your recovery is will be pretty bad then. I think I take a lot more priority to acceleration than speed. Because even though speed is helpful, it's also important to have good acceleration. If you get hit, then you have a better recovery that way. Yeah, and I also like the fact that in these retro courses they add a lot more to make it more. It feels more alive, like all these balloons and like the whatchamacallit, like the environment, like how the leaves are flying everywhere. Yeah, actually, yeah, somebody did get hit by my bomb. That's funny. Cool. Doesn't really matter if I get hit by the blue shell there. I still won. DK Jungle from 7. This one's an interesting one. It does have good design. Again, I like to say that even though 7 isn't my favorite, I'm not calling it, like, bad per se, but in my opinion, it's not as good as DS. If that makes any sense. Like, I'm talking as a longtime Mario Kart player, but I think newcomers would say otherwise. Which if you do, then that's fine. There's no reason to argue. Okay, the music here is good as well. It has the jungle swing in the melody. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country is a good game. Especially like the new titles like Returns and Tropical Freeze. I like those as well. And I'm glad that they made a track based off of those. Yeah, and I also find it hard to do tricks. When you get zapped by lightning and you're small, it's harder to do tricks off of little jumps like that. Yeah, stage hazards like the frogs there. They're pretty small, and they're easy to avoid, and these totem things that'll blow you away, they're not really that big of a deal. I got a super horn handy, but luckily no one threw a blue shell. That's good. And another easy winning streak. Awesome. Again, if there's any opportunity to get first, then yeah. Oh, Peach was the one who threw that. Don't even know what place she was in. This doesn't really matter. Yeah, Shy Guy is another one of my favorite lightweight characters to play as. $1,400 coins. So yeah, you can technically pick up more coins even if you have the maximum amount. Yeah, that was the Banana Cup. And the end of today's episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. And in the next part, we will be doing the Leaf Cup. See you guys then.